Hello everyone, Dr. Sarah here from Habits for Health. Today I want to chat about a topic that is of a big interest to me and what I do, how I live my life and how my lifestyle, and that is to do with looking after your microbiome. Now, for those of you that have never heard that term, microbiome, it simply refers to all the bacteria, fungi, protozoa that live on our bodies and particularly for this case, that live within our gastrointestinal tract or our gut. So you might have heard a lot of people talking about gut health and looking after your gut and the gut-brain axis. And yesterday with Dr. Vijay, we talked about the gut-mouth connection. So the microbiome itself is almost like its own little ecosystem really within your gut. It's very, very important for health. It often gets overlooked, but there's a huge amount of research that keeps coming out on the importance of having a really diverse, when I say diverse, lots of different species of bacteria and fungi that are living in your intestinal tract, or particularly in your colon as well. So when we talk about gut health and looking after your gut, a lot of it comes down to what we put in our mouths, okay, is eventually, hopefully, going to make its way to our bacteria and our microbiome. So if you are putting crap and processed food into your body and your mouth, okay, particularly things like processed carbohydrates, what happens is there's very little fiber with processed carbohydrates. So then essentially it goes into the stomach, goes into the small intestine, and a lot of it just gets dumped straight onto the liver, okay? So then the liver has to take care of all of that excess carbohydrate very quickly. And that is a problem, okay? There's a huge epidemic of what we call fatty liver disease or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I believe the statistics from Bupa were that 1 in 3 Australians have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That's a huge number of people, okay? And that can lead to an increased risk of certain conditions like metabolic issues, insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease. So there's lots of reasons you do not want to have non-alcoholic fatty liver, okay? Now, in my other video the other day, I talked about the damage of too much fructose being dumped on the liver, and that is definitely a huge factor for that, okay? But the other issue that can do that over time is if you are eating way too many processed carbohydrates without fiber in them, okay? When you eat food with fiber, okay, the fiber actually reduces the absorption of those carbohydrates, okay? And so then that fiber ends up going towards the end of your digestive system and it becomes food for your lovely microbiome. And then your microbiome then chomps on that fiber, okay, and the food that didn't necessarily get absorbed in the small intestine, and it produces lots of other beneficial metabolites that we need for our body. One in particular, they're called short-chain fatty acids, okay, which are very important for modulating your immunity and also for brain health as well, okay? Now, your microbiome has 3 major functions that we currently know of and are aware of. Excuse my dog barking. They bark at everything. So we talked about they will ferment fiber and other indigestible fiber into short-chain fatty acids. Okay, they also can produce vitamin K and some of your B vitamins. Okay, and the gut bacteria also help produce some of the neurotransmitters that go to your brain. So you will often hear about the term the gut-brain axis, the gut-brain connection. It is very important, okay? There was a recent meta-analysis done in the Journal of, I think, Clinical Psychology, and they looked at 26 studies that looked at people that had anxiety and depression, and they looked at the content of their microbiome, and they found that most people that had anxiety and depression all were deficient in certain strains of bacteria within their gut. Okay, so very important, all right, that you have a lovely diverse microbiome in your gut. How do you get that diverse microbiome? You feed it properly, okay? If you are eating junky, processed foods, okay, you are not feeding your microbiome properly, okay? And in addition, you're also overloading your liver, okay? Robert Lustig, one of my favorite authors. He's a pediatric endocrinologist. Sorry, two big words. He has done an amazing job in educating the public on this whole theory of real food and the effect on the liver and also on the gut. He has some amazing books, and you can look him up on YouTube. I'll put a link in the post as well. But his whole thing is basically protect the liver, feed the gut. Okay. And I think that's such a beautiful way and such a simplistic way to look at real food. Real food will always protect your liver. It's not going to dump on your liver, and it will always feed your gut. Okay. So real food, real vegetables. Okay. If you are eating food, you want to make sure that it is nutritious. Okay. Processed food is not nutritious at all. Okay. All it's doing is basically giving you a dopamine hit. Okay. So for example, like if you're wanting something and you think, oh, I just want something a bit sweet, or I just feel like something sweet, go for some strawberries, go for some berries, have some berries with cream, have, make yourself some full fat Greek yogurt with some berries and some nuts. Okay. That's real food. And not only that, the yogurt is also fermented. So you're also, again, you are feeding your gut bacteria. You are placing more beneficial bacteria into your gut, okay? So other fermented foods like kimchi, kefir, things like that are fantastic. If you don't like dairy, there's fermented coconut yogurt you can get. There are so many different options. But basically, if you think of it that way, I need to protect my liver, feed my gut, okay? So whenever you're going to put food into your mouth, I want you to stop and think, is this going to dump on my liver too quickly? And is this going to, or is this going to feed my gut and look after my gut bacteria? Okay. If what you're about to eat is full of sugar and other stuff, okay, very little fiber, okay, it's doing neither. It's not protecting your liver and it's not feeding your gut. Okay. If what you're about to eat is some beautiful fresh vegetables that you have cooked, and you're going to have with some grass-fed butter and some salt, okay? You are giving your body a lot of nutrition because you're getting all the vitamins and minerals from the vegetables, you're getting the fiber from the vegetables, okay? You're getting the healthy fats, and you will feel nourished, okay? So every time you eat, you want to think about nourishing your body, not just eating to feel good up here, okay? Think, I've got to look after my gut, okay? That is the important thing because your gut will have a huge implication on your overall health as well. There are some other really interesting studies as well, which I won't go into, but you can find them, and I'm happy to put the links up between dysbiotic gut issues and skin disorders. That's a very big emerging area as well in terms of research, okay? So 80% of our immune system is in the lining of our gastrointestinal tract, okay? 80%. That's a huge amount, okay? So what we need to do is constantly think about what we're putting into our mouth because it will have an effect on our microbiome, okay? So that's all I want to talk about today. So the two things I just want to think about. Is this protecting my liver? Am I going to be dumping on my liver by having too much sugar, too much processed food, too much processed carbohydrate? And is this going to feed my microbiome? Okay, so very important thing to think about, and so just be conscious of that. Okay, today. All right, thank you guys, and please subscribe, and I always look forward to sharing more information with you. Okay, bye.